The View celeb Joy Behar never backs down when she has something to say. Recently, she targeted Gayle King and called her out for fake news. What happened with this situation, and what got Joy so worked up this time around? The View Joy Behar never backs down from anyone. As longtime The View fans know, Joy Behar is relentless on the air whenever she has a strong point to make, which is often. She is never one to get intimidated by anyone, and she is never afraid to get her point across, even when her hot take is sure to ruffle some feathers. Whether it's other famous guests on The View or even her own colleagues, no one is safe from Joy Behar if she has you in her crosshairs, and this is something that fans of the show love about her. Whenever Joy smells blood in the water, she goes after it, and this leads to memorable scenes often on the popular talk show. Joy Behar. Joy recently targeted Gayle King. Gayle King has been in the headlines of late for being part of Blue Origin's new Shepard mission, which saw King and other famous ladies like Katy Perry go into space. While this provided a great ratings boost for CBS Mornings, it also drew a lot of criticism from people, which also did not stop viewers from tuning in either. Recently, however, Joy Behar targeted Gayle King over a recent segment she did with actor George Clooney. In typical Joy fashion, The View co-host went right for the jugular, and she did not hold back when it came to her critique of the situation. According to Joy, she took issue with the fact that Clooney told King that he and his wife don't fight. This is something that Clooney said in a previous interview as well. However, the way that Joy sees it, she does not buy this as the truth. In fact, she went the extra step, calling this out as fake news. Gayle King, The View. Joy Behar doesn't believe George Clooney. Actor George Clooney has also been in the headlines recently for ditching his signature salt and pepper hair for a full head of black hair. This change has been rather jarring for a lot of people, especially for those who have seen Clooney rock the gray for the last few decades. However, according to how Joy Behar sees it, she doesn't seem to think his hair is the only thing he is being sketchy about. In the interview with Gayle King, Clooney said, "I remember we were here with you once before, and I remember we said we'd never had an argument. We still haven't. We're trying to find something to fight about." To this, Joy said George is pushing some fake news, in my opinion. Notice the faint applause because this audience doesn't buy it. Do you agree with Joy Behar that this recent segment between Gayle King and George Clooney is fake news? Let us know in the comments below. Joy Behar's unfiltered outburst. Fake news accusation targets Gayle King over George Clooney's marital harmony claims. Joy Behar, a veritable institution on the daytime talk show landscape as a long-standing co-host of The View, is renowned for her unwavering outspokenness and her propensity to tackle any subject with unbridled candor. For years, viewers have come to expect and often relish Behar's fearless approach to discussions, her willingness to challenge conventional wisdom, and her refusal to be intimidated by anyone, regardless of their stature or influence. When Behar has a point to make, she does so with a tenacity that has become her trademark, often leading to memorable and sometimes contentious moments on the popular program. Whether engaging with high-profile guests who venture onto The View or even sparring with her own esteemed colleagues around the iconic table, no one is seemingly immune from Joy Behar's sharp wit and unwavering conviction when she feels a point needs to be made. This fearlessness is a quality that many fans of the show deeply appreciate, viewing it as a refreshing dose of unfiltered honesty in a media landscape often characterized by carefully curated narratives. When Behar senses an inconsistency or perceives a potential falsehood, she is known to pursue it with an almost prosecutorial zeal, often resulting in lively and engaging television. In a recent instance that perfectly exemplifies her outspoken nature, Joy Behar turned her critical gaze towards another prominent figure in the media world, Gayle King. King, a respected and highly visible co-host of CBS Mornings, had been making headlines herself due to her participation in Blue Origin's new Shepard mission. This venture into space, which also included other well-known personalities like Katy Perry, undoubtedly provided a significant ratings boost for CBS Mornings and generated considerable media attention. While the spectacle of celebrities venturing into space drew its fair share of criticism from some quarters, it undeniably captivated a large audience, further solidifying King's position in the public eye. It wasn't King's space travel that drew Behar's ire. Instead, Joy Behar's recent target was a segment King conducted with the acclaimed actor George Clooney. In classic Joy Behar fashion, The View co-host went straight to the heart of what she perceived as an issue, delivering a critique that was both direct and uncompromising. According to Behar, her point of contention stemmed from a claim Clooney made during his interview with King. The assertion that he and his wife, the accomplished human rights lawyer Amal Clooney, do not engage in arguments. Interestingly, this wasn't the first time Clooney had publicly stated this seemingly idyllic aspect of his marriage. However, it was during this particular exchange with Gayle King that Joy Behar decided to voice her skepticism, going so far as to label Clooney's statement as fake news. George Clooney, a perennial figure in Hollywood headlines, had also recently garnered attention for a noticeable change in his appearance, seemingly ditching his signature salt and pepper hair for a fully black mane. This transformation was quite striking for many who had become accustomed to Clooney's distinguished graying look over the past few decades. However, in Joy Behar's estimation, Clooney's potential penchant for altering his appearance might not be the only area where his statements warrant scrutiny. During his conversation with Gayle King, Clooney recounted, "I remember we were here with you once before, and I remember we said we'd never had an argument. We still haven't. We're trying to find something to fight about." This seemingly lighthearted and harmonious portrayal of his marital dynamic was the specific claim that triggered Behar's fake news accusation. Responding to Clooney's assertion, Behar didn't mince words. To this, Joy said George is pushing some fake news, in my opinion, she declared with her characteristic bluntness. Adding a layer of theatrical skepticism, Behar also pointed out the reaction of the studio audience, noting, "Notice the faint applause because this audience doesn't buy it." This observation suggests that Behar wasn't alone in her disbelief, implying that the studio audience shared her skepticism regarding Clooney's claim of a perpetually argument-free marriage. Behar's reaction raises interesting questions about the public perception of celebrity relationships and the inherent skepticism that often accompanies seemingly perfect portrayals. In a world where conflict and disagreement are often seen as an inevitable part of any close relationship, Clooney's repeated assertion of a complete absence of arguments might indeed sound implausible to many. Behar's willingness to call this out as fake news highlights her belief that such a scenario is unrealistic and potentially disingenuous. It's worth noting that Behar's comment, while pointed, was delivered in a manner that is characteristic of her on-air persona, often blending humor with her strong opinions. Whether her intention was to genuinely accuse Clooney of deliberate falsehood or to simply express her humorous disbelief at what she perceives as an unlikely scenario remains somewhat open to interpretation. However, the use of the term fake news, a phrase heavily laden with political connotations in recent years, adds a certain weight to her critique, suggesting a more serious level of skepticism. The incident also underscores Behar's role on The View as the resident skeptic, the one unafraid to voice the doubts and questions that might be on the minds of many viewers. Her willingness to challenge even beloved figures like George Clooney contributes to the show's reputation for unfiltered and often provocative discussions. The reaction to Behar's fake news accusation has likely been varied. Some viewers may have applauded her boldness in calling out what she perceives as an unrealistic portrayal of marriage, perhaps finding it relatable to their own experiences. Others might view her comments as unnecessarily cynical or even disrespectful towards Clooney and King. The debate over the believability of Clooney's statement and the appropriateness of Behar's fake news label likely reflects a broader spectrum of opinions on celebrity authenticity and the nature of marital harmony. Ultimately, the exchange serves as another example of Joy Behar's enduring impact on The View. Her willingness to speak her mind, even when it involves prominent figures and potentially controversial opinions, is a key element of her appeal and a significant factor in the show's continued relevance and ability to generate discussion. Whether one agrees with her assessment of George Clooney's marital claims, her unwavering commitment to expressing her perspective remains a defining characteristic of her presence on daytime television.